What is happening, everyone?
I blame
Welcome. It's not really my fault this time. Well, partly. Welcome to the Nerd Informer. It's Wednesday at 7. Okay, it's 7:07, but you get the idea. We were close. I don't know why I won't go. We got a lot of technical problems right now, but it's cool. We're going to get through it.
I would never have those issues.
Well, this is actually not my fault, believe it or not. I don't believe it either, but it's truly not. Anyway, we're here. We're live. We're on the Oracle Talk Radio Network. Everywhere. Well, not everywhere, but almost everywhere because I can't get on to some of them. It's cool. We'll do without.
We'll do it.
I think they knew it was conspiracy night, so they said we're going to shut this down.
Or they just don't like us anymore.
Or they don't like us. I mean, I get that too.
Yeah.
I would completely understand.
I mean,
Like,
me too.
I'm like, I get it,
We've made a lot of made fun of a lot of people's families.
and we're going to do more tonight.
Yeah. I don't mind.
That's
We don't mean to. It just happens.
Well, yeah, it's not. We don't set out to do it. It just
No.
sometimes comes up, and then
Yeah.
listen. We do an hour show here. We got to fill the time somehow.
No, that's true.
It's not our fault.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
We're going to fill tonight's show with conspiracy theories.
I
Well,
like it.
kind of some conspiracy theories.
And the impact behavior that it has on people. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw the quote in the Nerd Informer's
Aha.
Facebook page.
See, I got it there.
What is it working now?
No, it won't go. I don't know. It won't go to live 365 for some reason.
You know what? Unless
Keeps
someone
up.
accidentally, that only I think happens if someone accidentally couldn't log out and someone had to change their
Maybe.
password on them.
Maybe.
Possibly, but
I don't know.
besides that,
We're everywhere else, just not there. They're going to worry about us. Where are they? I don't know.
you're gonna obsess over it now. It's okay.
I am. I'm going to obsess over it for the next 2 minutes probably because I really want it to work, and I don't think it's going to. So I got to let it go, and then I got to focus. That's hard for me. I have ADHD or
You
something.
do have an IQ of a carrot.
I do.
So,
I'd be offended, but I don't know what that means.
nope.
I don't even like carrots.
I do.
Gross.
I enjoy them.
How can you enjoy a carrot?
I'm sorry. I enjoy all vegetables and fruit. Always have. Just like when I was eating for lunch, I had the tomatoes with mini cucumbers and mozzarella cheese over it. You're like, I would not eat any of those.
I would not. I'd eat the mozzarella cheese. I like
Oh.
mozzarella.
That's just for some texture, but it was delicious.
Yeah. I don't know.
Can't go
The rest
wrong.
of the stuff, no. Well, too many things happening. I need like meat and stuff.
Not me. I'd be perfectly fine with just fruits and vegetables, to be honest. But
Yeah, well, you know your type.
I'm just not. I'm just not a picky person. I could eat that.
Well,
all the
everything you eat is the best thing you've ever eaten in the last.
time. You gotta
2
enjoy
minutes.
every meal. Like it's
Oh,
your
you
last.
do.
Like, dude, it's the best.
Oh.
I'm always that. It's the best. You have to
Oh,
be
you
that
do.
positive. I mean,
I'm almost done. I'm almost done obsessing over this radio thing.
yeah, we can
I'm almost there.
just.
I gotta let it go. It's not gonna happen.
I would.
All right, I'm letting it go.
We can get back down to the
Excellent.
conspiracy
Excess
theories.
evil.
Anyone listening, apologize for Ian's actions. I'm just saying.
I get it.
I would have been like, skip.
Well, you gotta give somebody more than a minute. Oh, we're 5 minutes in. Never mind. All right, I get it. Yeah, I would have skipped too.
But actually, about 15. I'm like, I looked down for a second. I'm like, where'd he go? Motherfucker. I was like, it's 6:59. Every time.
I listen. A lot of things. I don't know.
If Tim's listening, he'll understand. It happens every single time.
Every time. All right. Conspiracy theory. It is an explanation for an event or situation that asserts the existence of a conspiracy, generally by powerful, sinister groups, often political in motivation. When other explanations are more probable, the term generally has a negative connotation, implying that the appeal of a conspiracy theory is based in prejudiced emotional conviction or insufficient evidence. All right. Well, I'm going to just start it out of the gate and piss everybody off and say that I think the biggest conspiracy theory ever is religion, right?
I would agree.
I mean, I feel like that's a big conspiracy theory.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I think that's pretty true.
No, I'm not a religious person, but
me neither.
You are. It's not. My point is not even to knock it. It's just,
I'll knock it.
It's a conspiracy theory is based on emotional conviction, and insufficient evidence. There's insufficient evidence that there is a one single God that controls the universe, and even if there is, religion, I don't know, is the answer to make it to get your story out. Religion is, I don't know. I can't do religion. I can't go to church and sit there.
What I'm having a problem with, and you probably saw in the news, is the Pope opened up portals. You know what I mean? Portals, really? And he opened up all these tombs. But like he was supposed to be the first person in there, but by God, did they have a 4K entrance, whoever was on the inside?
Oh, hell yeah.
So it wasn't the first time anyone's been in there. Fucking liars, first off. I mean, they had every room covered.
Yeah.
It was the best scenery I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I will say the Vatican is an amazing place. Like, Vatican City is like, it's probably the most amazing place in the world, and one of the top 3 that I want to visit.
Oh yeah, dude!
Because of the things that are hidden there and the things that they know behind those walls, that
the bodies they buried that
day. I know, for real. Like, if you think, hey Nicole, how you doing? And thanks for sharing. Yeah, so you think about all the books and historical stuff that they have, the scripts, and like it's ridiculous. I don't think it has anything to do with God. I think it is just a plethora of history, of world history, and
the thing is, I don't know, you're not even allowed to even see those anything, the scrolls, any of the books. You're not, it's like locked up, like underground.
And like, that is when they do things like that, that is exactly why you have conspiracy theories.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, if you just told us what was there and opened it up to the public, I get you don't want a million people rummaging through it and destroying shit, because people will, because they're dicks. But you can open it up to everyday people with a level of security that would make it
well,
okay.
It's like what we do at the Capitol and what we've seen the Declaration of Independence when we went to DC. That is heavily guarded by like 16 guards. There has to be at least 16 to 20 guards. There's 3 guards for every like constitution that was made. You know what I mean? And they want, if you even get too close to that thing, they're gonna either fucking tell you to back up or take you down. They're very strict on it.
Yeah,
it's so weird, the ambient light in that room. You're like, oh man, it feels like I'm in a cult.
Yeah,
like when you go inside, you're like, oh, that's really weird. But something weird is gonna happen.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's ways to open it up and let people see what's in there. But what are you hiding? You know what I mean? Like, when you do things like that, you tell the world that you're hiding something.
Yeah,
and that's my problem with it.
Hiding the truth of what they used to be and how they used to fucking probably kill people.
Yeah, and so what, right? Yeah. Like, okay, I get you probably don't want, it makes you look bad, but
there
at
are
the
some
same point,
that hold on to history.
So. Yeah, at the same point, so it happened, right? Like, what are you going to do about it? You can't go back and undo it. It is what it is. Whatever it is, right? Like, you can't go back and undo it. Whatever happened. Like slavery. You know what I mean? Like, nobody wants to talk about slavery. Well, slavery happened. It wasn't a great,
Well, it's the thing is,
mark on our history. But
it goes all the way back to like the Mayans and the Egyptians. They had a lot of slaves too, dude.
yeah, they're
How do you think
slaves to this day.
Yeah, they got pyramids built. They got like it. There's always, it might be called, they're the workers and then the people are getting paid, but like they probably weren't getting paid.
There's an 8-year-old in China right now making some Nikes. You can't tell me that ain't slavery, dog. You're like,
Yeah. Well, the thing is that even happens here. Like, not saying like
yeah.
Chinese food, but like there's people like, I'm sorry, China,
Chinese food. What?
But you know what I mean.
Where are you getting your Chinese food from?
Well, where are you getting your Nikes from? So, but I'm saying like there's all types of that kind of like in control.
Well,
like,
yeah.
So, but get back to the Vatican.
So psychologists usually attribute belief in conspiracy theories to a number of like psychological conditions, paranoia, schizophrenia, narcissism, insecure attachment, or forms of like cognitive belief, illusion, stuff like that, and they say that it's like a lack of empathy. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I guess a lack of empathy would be something like, people die or something and like you just don't care. You think it's something else. But
I guess it's not that they don't care. It's just they don't have that. I don't know. It's not, they don't have the sympathy. They just, it's, I guess it's lack of empathy. It's not that they don't care. It's just they don't feel the same feeling when someone,
So there was a 2020 article found that most cognitive scientists view conspiracy theorizing as typical, non-pathological, given that unfounded belief in conspiracy is common across both historical and contemporary cultures and may arise from innate human tendencies towards gossip, group cohesion, and religion. So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, getting back to like empathy. So let's talk about like the Challenger explosion, right?
Oh yeah,
like people died, right? We get it. It was a very sad thing. There was a teacher on there, and there was
probably one of the saddest ones in history. But
probably, I mean, it was certainly the biggest one. The most that they talked about.
Yeah,
but it was like it was a big deal, right? And then you get this conspiracy theory that comes out, and I'm sure you've heard it.
About, of course,
they found people that look exactly like the people that were supposed to have died.
Identical, not just like
identical. Same age, same everything.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them the same name, just like a different version of it, like Catherine or Kathy and Catherine type thing, right? So, and when they investigate some of these people, there's no history for them. You know what I mean? Like
one of them was a twin brother of him, right?
Yeah, and there was no record of the twin brother ever.
Yeah,
that they could find. So when you get to stuff like that, now you're in conspiracy theory land, right? Like, I mean, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But to have those type of coincidences, and you're talking about 5 or 6 coincidences that were, I mean, all of them had a doppelganger, basically. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody that looked just like them, same age, same,
technically we all have doppelgangers.
That's what they say. Yeah, that's what they say. There's a doppelganger for everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that's probably true to some. I mean, you could probably find somebody in the world that looks very similar to you. I mean, you have a twin brother, so
yeah,
it's not very hard for you. But
I bet there's a third.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if that's true, then yeah, that would mean that there's 2 more of you, right? Because your brother would have to have one, and then you would have to have one.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that would count as the same person. I guess it could, but it could just be one. I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
Because you both would have to have one, but that could be the same person.
That's true.
There's a lot of math in that I'm not going to figure out right now.
No.
But that's that's a good representation of like a lack of empathy that they talk about. Like, people died and you guys are making all this crazy shit up. But it kind of fits, right? Like it fits enough to where.
Are they mixing empathy with realist?
Maybe.
So, you know what I mean? We're thinking something that could realistically happen, as in the government has done quite a few fucked up things where they have covered up certain shit.
Yeah,
You
well,
know,
and that's just it.
that's where the
Yeah.
lack of empathy comes in because we have a different mindset of sheeple in a way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what we do here is talk about aliens and conspiracies and all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
So we're inclined to think that way, but I guess the normal person may not be as much. But I think it's getting more and more commonplace to even like not to get too political, but even like in the world of politics in the last 8 years.
Yeah.
Everything that was a conspiracy theory is starting to turn out to be pretty close.
Yeah.
Pretty close. Like it may not have been right on, but it was real close.
I think more people now are opened up to conspiracy theories being true than not be true.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on the conspiracy theory, of course, but
yeah, of course. But like, as in, there's more people that will look into it than wouldn't give two shits.
Yeah,
now there's more people asking questions because now they see how fucked up the government can be.
Well, and you have a much better access to information than you've ever had. You can Google anything, and not everything on the internet's true, but you can do that confirmation bias thing and find anything that you want to believe. You can find online that supports your theory. You know what I mean? Like,
and disagrees with it at the same time.
Yeah. Or and the opposite the same is true for the opposite way. Like anything you agree with, you can find somebody going, "Nah, you're wrong." You know what I mean? And that's easier than that's easier than the other way because there's always people that want to be contrarians. But
very true. But
it's definitely you can find like politics, like some of the shit that they said. Oh, Trump did this, Trump did that, and it was just all bullshit. You know what I mean? And like it clearly, like it's not even a political stance. It just clearly is the way. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not even like I'm a left wing or right wing. It's that this clearly did not happen in reality anywhere.
Yeah. It's agendas.
Yeah. But there's so many different conspiracy theories that you can go forever and ever and ever.
Well, I don't want to say anything, but it rhymes with Schmaleven.
See, that's gonna be.
I just don't want to get banned. Okay,
that's gonna be on Patreon because
I don't want to get in trouble.
We've been down this road before. You know what happens when we start talking about crazy shit. It never ends well.
No.
But another good conspiracy theory is the moon landing. Right? A lot of people don't believe it. A lot of people are like, Then that movie came out. I don't know. Did you see that movie with
I've seen like every fucking
Channing Tatum, and where they actually like showed him kind of. Dude,
I forgot about.
It's such a good movie, and a lot of people say like that's very close to accurate. Like they really did have a whole thing set up in case something went wrong. You know what I mean?
Not that. Of course they would. They wanted to be first. They wanted to be the first ones there. So like, what was that movie called? Dude, I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it.
It was just on TV actually. I was on the other night when I was fucking around.
I'll figure it out. If Channing Tatum, I'll remember that.
Oh, it's great. Joe, how are you, man? I'm sure Tom's hanging around here somewhere. He'll be popping in and out, I'm sure, at some point.
But like conspiracy too, with like when they were testing the atomic bombs. Did you see the thing on Joe Rogan where that guy brought up the fact is like they did the bomb, but there was something after the effect that was there. Like you saw,
like a car was moved, and then the car was in like a different spot.
Yeah, like there's certain things that like people probably didn't catch because they're so amazed by the explosion that it was done in like a warehouse.
Yeah, well, so like the moon's so interesting because there's so many hours of tape that was between ground control, the astronauts, and even the president. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of it went missing, but the transcripts are still there. But there's a few minutes of transcripts missing. And the belief is that there was something on the moon. And they actually had some quotes from some of the astronauts that were up there.
Yeah.
And I'll read a couple of them because they're fucking fantastic. It says, and I quote, No, this is not an optical illusion. No one is going to believe this. I'd say there are other spaceships. They are lined up on the other side of the crater. There they are, and they are watching us. End quote. So, like, these are actually recordings that they have.
Imagine being up there and feeling so helpless.
Yeah,
something there that can probably live without oxygen watching you.
There's Tom. Hey, Tom, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, Tom? You know what I mean? That would be I think the creepiest thing, and like your most vulnerable spot.
Well,
Because
and you know,
and they probably don't.
And there's stories about, like, they famously left the American flag on the moon, right? They put that videos up. Yeah. So there's a story about within a few feet of that, they put a small white cloth pouch down on the ground, and inside the pouch there's like a gold olive branch, which is like the symbol of peace, throughout. I guess I don't know.
It's two
universe, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
So. And there was a small disc about the size of a $50 coin, and it was made of silicone, and etched on the disc were letters so small that you had to read them through like a microscope. And they were all letters of goodwill from NASA and like 73 other world leaders.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So why would you do that? Right. Why would you send that up into space and put it there if you didn't expect someone to maybe see it, find it?
And why would they do it knowing that they want to be the first ones there?
Right.
You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense.
Right. So the Apollo 11 crew, they said they were warned when they landed on the moon that they wouldn't be alone. So in 1965, the crew of the Gemini 4 experienced the first recorded UFO sighting in space. And it was in the radio transcript of the astronaut James McDevitt. And what he says is fucking crazy. He was like, I saw something up here with us, but just as it was getting close enough to take a good picture, the sun got in the way and I lost it. It had big arms sticking out of it. It looked like I only, and then he said, it only had it for a minute after the sight, because they lost it in the sun or whatever.
I'm just thinking danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah.
That's all that came to mind for me.
Yeah.
Lost in space. Tom wrote, yes, this is true. And even a weirder fact is that so Neil Armstrong went on when he landed back on Earth, read into his trek for a lost library in the Amazon. Or a true leader. Found anywhere.
Yeah. So it got to the point where NASA even created code names for UFOs like Bogey, Santa Claus, and Fire. When Apollo 8 went into lunar orbit in 1968, the crew saw a Santa Claus, and they have Jim Lovell's report to Houston, and it was Houston, Apollo over. Hello, Apollo, loud and clear. Roger, please be informed there is a Santa Claus. That is affirmative. You're the best one to know.
Wow.
So, like, that's pretty fucking wild. And these are like real transcripts that they have. Like, they have the transcripts.
I wish they would just whistle blow all of them.
So is there something on the moon they don't want us to see? Well, it sounds like it, right? I mean, I don't know. What else, And there's whistleblowers that have confirmed it. Like, yeah, there is definitely things.
You would think. I mean, we got some pretty good cameras nowadays. Like, you think you'd be able to spot something. Like, I'm not saying it's not there or they weren't ever there. Maybe they're not there now, or they're just, I would say, underground tunnels if they're there.
Yeah, but I don't know how good the cameras would be. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. The whole thing.
Well, you got to think, just with my new lens and my camera, that picture I got was really close, dude. Like,
it was close in comparative to, like, but a lot of other cameras. But I don't. It's not close enough to see.
But other cameras can do way better than mine.
Yeah,
but it's just insane to think about that.
But I mean, do we have a telescope big enough and strong enough to see like someone walking on the moon? You know what I mean?
I would say yeah.
Is there? Do you think if you were walking on the moon, could I see you through a telescope?
I guess it depends on the telescope, because there's telescopes that we can see Saturn. Just that's way
but to what detail, right? Like, I'm talking about detail and how much detail.
It wouldn't be much detail, but you would notice something probably.
Right. Then I don't know. So they're talking about things that more or less they talk about things that are on like the dark side of the moon that we can't see.
Yeah. Yep.
Because the moon's locked with us. It doesn't, it never gets that other side. So I think that's more or less what they talk about. It's like
Okay.
Oh god, something's happening.
What something's happening. It's a great
Uh,
topic
uh,
for tonight. I agree.
uh,
We're going over a couple conspiracies, but this is just one of them.
Did you see the quantum chip that Google made?
Yeah, well, I heard about it.
Created. It's fucking retarded.
How fast it is.
It's the size of a saltine, they said,
Mm-hmm.
and it can computate things that would take supercomputers like an
Thousands of years, right?
incoherent amount of time. Like you
Yeah.
can't even understand the amount of time it would take to calculate it. And the theory is that it's must be getting information from other
Universe.
other universes of supercomputers from other universes.
Well,
basically.
they already did calculations where it already said that there is other parallel universes.
Yeah, I mean that's fucking retarded.
So the fact is it could find that out through code, ones and zeros.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That it could tell that we're not the only ones. That's insane.
and they don't know how it's doing it. Is like the real fucked up part is that they have no idea how it's working. Like, how do you build something and don't know how it fucking works? And you know what I mean?
You built it to it's adaptive learning is what
I
it's
guess
doing.
you built it
so quickly they can't keep up with it. But the thing is, it's not what they want that. They want the unknown to see what they can push the limits to. You know what I mean? They're gonna figure it out, maybe. But the thing is, they're gonna see what it can do by itself, and if you let it, like, I could see it being a test run. Like, what's it gonna cause? What's it gonna do? Can it figure out things that we're gonna need to know that we would only know in 30,000 years from now that it could just figure out? You know what I mean? It's gonna be problems.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Like,
I think that's what they're doing.
Are they? Is it predicting the future? You know what I mean? Like, what is it? What is it computating? What is it looking at?
Maybe it can just see and it can analyze everything in existence and just, I mean, if they put it that way and just they could see where we're headed if we keep going the same route. Is it just smarter or is it collecting data from who knows where? I mean,
yeah, it's just the craziest thing, man, when you read about it.
But they did say it was, I mean, that there's possibility of other universes, like parallel.
Well, they said that that's the only known explanation is how it's doing what it's doing. The only known answer would be that it would have to be getting information from basically another universe that has supercomputers that is also working with this chip to solve the mysteries of whatever the hell it's trying to solve. So
I mean, we put that together with the Hadron Collider.
Yeah, we're making black holes, and
yeah,
we're Mandela affecting everybody.
Yep,
nobody's gonna remember shit.
That's exactly it. I mean, it's getting out of hand. We can't let it get like Skynet. They have to know when to cut it. You know what I mean?
There was a video that I was watching. A guy was talking about AI flying a fighter jet, and it put it in dogfights with humans.
Oh, I heard about
it. And
this.
It won 100% of the time.
Yeah.
100% of the time it won in dogfights against humans.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking wild.
That just shows, like, dude, down the road, it's not even going to be its own people fighting battles. It's going to be robots.
Well, it also shows the danger of someone beating us to it. It also shows the danger of China beating us to fighter pilots.
And they don't have to worry about a casualty.
It's just an object, and it's just money at that point.
Yeah,
and money. Money doesn't mean anything to all these countries. So money's not a real thing to these countries. So it doesn't really matter if they lose a $30 billion jet. Who gives a shit, right?
Exactly.
So that's just it, man. Like a fighter jet that's controlled by AI won 100% of the dogfights that it simulated.
Well, it's not gonna pass off from G-force. It's not gonna,
Yeah, it doesn't have limitations.
Yeah.
That a human would have. It doesn't have to make this. I mean, it makes decisions, but it makes.
That's dangerous, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, well, they already got like drones that are not controlled, but like a fighter jet. I mean, that's some scary stuff.
And I think the biggest, most dangerous part of that is, like I said, someone beating us to the technology to make it work flawlessly.
I think they've already beat us multiple times to the technology on certain things. It's just,
I mean, I'm sure we're probably further ahead than
any
we
of us
know.
really
You know,
know.
yeah. I'm sure every country that's interested in it is probably further ahead than anything that we know than they're telling us. But
Or are they just not telling anyone and they're all working together?
maybe.
I can see
Maybe.
that. I can see that all day, dude.
See, that's an interesting point. Think about that for a second. If all the countries could get together and focus on a real goal, how far we could get as a species and as a planet. Like if you could work with China and Russia and work on AI and have the best and brightest from everywhere, dude, and you don't have secrets, you don't have, you know what I mean? Like it's just everybody's shooting for the same goal.
I think
That would be the most impressive AI that you could think of.
I think the only time it would really come to that, if it hasn't already happened, a scenario where there's a catastrophic event where the world was going to be in danger, that's when everyone would work together and put all their chips in to get off the planet. Like, you know, you never know if like there's some out there and people know, if you watch documentaries, there are rogue planets that no one knows where they're at and they could crash into anything. They're not they don't have a gravitational pull towards anything right now.
Right.
They're just going through space in the dark until
I don't know if they could get close enough to us without us seeing them first. Maybe we couldn't do anything about it.
It would probably be too late at that point. If it's
I think if you saw it coming, it'd probably be too late. But we would see it coming, I think.
That's just,
and I wouldn't even tell nobody, bro. I would just like, if I saw it, I'd be like, "Listen, there ain't nothing we can do about this."
It's like
I'm just riding this bitch out, bro.
It's like the one movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence. They were trying to tell everyone that like an asteroid's coming to kill everyone. And
yeah.
Did you watch that movie?
No, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's called Just Look Up.
Right? Yeah. Yep.
Dude, the movie was awesome. It's like you have to watch it, dude. It's on Netflix, I believe. Watch that movie, dude. It's so good. But yeah, just something like that happening. That's all you need is something like that. But if it's catastrophic and it's world ending, there's no point anymore.
Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it.
No specific path. No, rogue planets don't have a specific path. They will just, if that's what you're talking about, they just go through space endlessly with no orbit. So they're just, right now they're out there, planet size planets going.
I would think that once they got a hold of something big enough, it would lock into their gravitational pull.
The problem is, Just Look Up. It's called Just Look Up. Yeah, it's on
Netflix, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's on Netflix. The movie was so good because of what they were trying to do and explain to people, to woke people. And they're just like, you're just trying to scare people or get your 10 minutes of fame, when they're actual scientists. I mean, it's one of those movies where you're like, I don't want to give anything away. You have to watch it.
I don't know. I think if I'm the guy in charge of telling people there's a rogue planet coming, I ain't saying nothing.
I mean, I'll spill the beans.
Imagine you're just walking around outside and like, it's getting real dark outside, and all of a sudden, bam, like it just crashes in the earth.
Imagine just seeing a world coming into Earth, dude.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that. Must be a sight, dude.
I'm gonna go back inside now. Okay, well, that's not gonna help you.
It'd be such destruction and explosion. You wouldn't feel anything. It would be instant over for everyone.
Yeah. Well, you would think. I don't know. I'm not an astrophysicist, but I'm sure something like that would fuck up our gravity. We'd probably go flying through the air and all kinds of crazy shit.
I think it would be. No, I think the impact would probably bring. I don't know. I think it would suck you in more than push you out, because of the impact of a planet hitting would cause such a crater and force going into the planet. Everything would just vacuum into itself.
Oh yeah, no, definitely that. Yeah, but while it was coming in, I would think it would fuck with your gravity. Like if something gets that close to you. Because like look at the moon's effect on like our tide and stuff, right? Like the Earth bulges out in the center because of the tug from the moon.
That's why
you get like high tide and shit. Yeah. That's where you get like high tides and low tides, because your Earth rotates in to that.
After announcing, some people I think would embrace. I think everyone would have to embrace it and accept it.
Well, yeah, you got no choice.
I mean, I mean,
What's happening?
it's full on GTA at that point.
Yeah. Well, that's why they couldn't tell you, because it'd be mass mayhem. You know what I mean? And like, it wouldn't matter, I don't think, because in 5 minutes you're gonna be dead, but it'd still be mayhem, you know.
It would be, and like that's why you want Joe watch that movie. Just look up, because if you'll understand like the annoyance of someone trying to tell the news and tell the government what's coming, and no one wants to believe them, and then you'll see the ending. Great movie.
You know, I wonder how true that, like, that's a great example of, like, I wonder how true something like that is. Like, you think there's one person in, like, NASA that's like, hey, we got, like, a problem, and here's the answer. And there's just a room full of idiots going, oh, no, you're fine. Trust me, it's cool. And then, you know, like, I wonder how many times that happens where one person was like, dude, I told you this is going to be a problem. And then,
well, I just, for instance, like when we had Hurricane Ian, I'm like, was it Irma? I'm like, hey, Ian, dude, I'm like, I'm pretty sure this hurricane's gonna hit us. Nah, we're only gonna get a scratch. I think we lost, like, I had no power for a month, over a month, no water, and moon tug.
Hey, listen,
dude, do you guys realize that the moon is moving away from us every year?
They say it moves like an eighth of an inch or a quarter of an inch. Something
it's gonna be, but the thing is, it's going, and we're eventually not gonna have that moon in our fucking. Like
then we can't go fishing because the high tide's not going to come in. I can't get the boat out.
Yeah, right.
I need that high tide.
It's crazy that the moon is going that far away, but and it's eventually just going to go.
Well, everything's spreading out. Like, we're getting further and further away from the sun, and like that's where the whole idea about, you know, Mars used to have people on it. Like, Mars used to be where we're at, essentially.
Yeah,
and the idea of the sun spit out these planets, right? And then just over millions of years, like, there's a sweet spot. Like, we're in a Goldilocks zone where everything's perfect for survival and life.
Yeah.
And then once we get past that, we'll all die, you know. And then the Earth will be uninhabitable, just like the moon is now, or Mars is now.
That's true, because there used to be water on there. They have canyons and they have craters where there was water. Now it's all gone. So that is true.
Well, that's what I could. Yeah, I mean, that's where that theory comes from. Is that, you know, they used to have what they find. They still find water on the moon, on Mars.
Yeah. But we'll eventually just have to go out and look, and they need to send quite a few things out to see if places are actually habitable. Because I don't want something to happen like, you know, 365, where, you know, they go to a planet and they thought it was habitable or alien.
Well, like eventually Venus will be where we're at. You know what I mean? Like, it'll be inhabitable. Like, you know, if that holds true, right? Like, if that scenario holds true, then that means, you know, Mercury will be inhabitable one day, and we'll start a whole new civilization on that planet. You know, at every planet that moved away, had a civilization on it. You know,
you have a ticking time bomb in the middle. By the time that happens, that sun might already be burnt out and blown.
Well, they're saying, what are they saying? 5 million years till the sun burns out, or 5 billion? I don't remember.
It'd probably be billion, not million. Until
the sun burns out and goes like supernova.
That's when we have to be an interstellar species. That's when you have to figure out solar. You have to figure out everything. When the time comes, they will.
Yeah, because the gravitational pull from the sun is what keeps everything.
Yeah, that
moving. So if there's no sun, everybody's in trouble.
Oh yeah, dude.
Everybody's in trouble. I don't care what planet you're on.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, a star exploding, man. Just to witness a star explode, how much?
I wonder if it just throws all of the planets just off into or if it even maybe it destroys them. Maybe it's big enough to where it just destroys the planet.
Just like a pool table.
Yeah, yeah.
It would probably just incinerate everything around it. It just incinerate them. There wouldn't be anything left.
Or it just creates a super massive black hole and just sucks everything into it. Anything that's close to it.
I could see it. I mean, what would you rather happen? The sun explode? I mean, going through a black hole, or that would just be weird.
I kind of want to go through a black hole because
I always think like maybe we already did go through one and we're on the other side.
yeah, see that's
See,
that.
it was maybe there was something so big that
Mhm.
didn't affect everything.
Maybe we're just such a tiny particle that went through it that
That's exactly it.
we were so small it couldn't even do anything to us because we're just a tiny speck of a particle, the size that,
And the thing is, comparison to what's out there, we're really small.
well, yeah.
So
If you go with the idea that the universe is infinite, which
yeah,
I mean, for all intents and purposes, it is, as far as we can tell.
yeah,
Like, yeah, we're tiny, we're nothing,
I think eventually, I think we'll have to get off this planet. We'll have to go somewhere different because of the sun. But like, hopefully, they can figure it out in time. Like, I think there's only a couple people in the world that invest their money into that, as in Elon Musk and some
Yeah.
other companies, but SpaceX. It's weird to think that.
Yeah,
It's
Blue
weird.
Origin.
The Blue Origin will probably. Well, they just want to do rides up there for
Yeah, they're more of
$40
just
billion to say you
yeah.
can go up there.
Yeah.
It's a ridiculous amount of money just to go up there for about 5 minutes and then come back down.
I just want to go to the moon. I kind of want to go to the moon because I want to see what's up there. I want to kill the conspiracy.
I'm not saying that I wish they would punish people like that were murderers and stuff, but like if we could just send a couple test rats in a way.
Well, that's what they did with Australia.
People-
they just sent all the criminals to Australia, or was it Australia or New Zealand? I don't remember. One of the two.
I know what you're saying.
I think Australia sent all the criminals to New Zealand or something. I'm like, just got them out of there all completely. They're like, yeah, we're done. Then they just sent them off.
But like there needs to be some like people that would be willing to like, I'm not coming back. But the possibility. Let's figure things out with human intelligence, not robotic.
That's the thing about like the trip to going to the Mars and stuff.
Yeah.
Like with technology now, if we went to the moon and landed on the moon, you could do a fucking podcast on the moon these days. You know what I mean? Like
That's
they
exactly
could do it, you know what I mean? They could do whatever they want to do on the moon. They could have live fucking HD fucking cameras. I mean, there's just
the only thing I don't like is they're not doing a manned mission to the moon again. Like not yet, but they haven't done one since with our technology. Come on. It looked like cardboard they were flying in.
Yeah.
So I mean, now we have, computer programs and they're calculating things all at once. So they could
Well, that's where the conspiracy theory part comes in.
Yeah.
Like, you expect us to believe that a man can survive those conditions and that equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Like we've seen some of the equipment. They had some of the equipment on display at the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
Like it's wild to think that a man could survive that.
Yeah, it's raggedy, dude. There's like no way that was airtight.
Yeah, like I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
there's no way.
It
it looked like
if I was going to go fly to the moon and you said, "All right, this is how you're getting there," I'd be like, "I got a lot more questions."
I don't know. The bathroom. You're just oh yeah, just fucking run.
Transformer that motherfucker. Take off and run. Oh yeah,
yeah, dude. Like
one of the greatest scenes in any movie ever.
Yeah, I love it.
The new Transformers. Transformers 1.
Great movie.
Oh yeah, and he just turns around and runs away.
You could transform. I need to watch that movie. That was the longest Transformers movie I think they ever made.
It was a long one. It was.
I kept him like, is it ended? Is it over? But how Megatron became Megatron and it was badass. Love that.
So how do you think conspiracy theories affect us now? What do you think?
I think it just makes people more paranoid. Not too paranoid, but I guess they second guess everything. Everyone. I
think it leads to more conspiracy theories. I think the more conspiracy theories there are, it just leads to more and more.
I think conspiracy. I think you're. Yeah, I agree with that.
I think that and the fact
and some of them make people go crazy. Like
yeah.
You know what I mean? That people just go nuts over them.
And I can see how that happens, honestly, because like I'll go down the rabbit hole on some shit and I get lost. You know what I mean? Like you just get lost and you're like, wait a minute. Like if I had that personality to where, I wanted answers to, it would definitely.
Well, it eats at you. Like especially when you're trying to find the truth and it eats at you that you find so many things that incriminate it or back it up. It's hard to go back on the things that go against it and like that doesn't
What I
even
don't
sound-
think people understand that, like from NASA and stuff like that, is that it only takes one thing that you lie about, right, to throw everything that you say into question, right?
Yeah.
It takes one lie. So if you lie about, I don't know, I mean anything, just pick anything, it throws the whole topic into question,
Mhm.
at least your side of it, because you've already lied now, right? Like you've already, NASA could never come out and say, "Oh, we didn't go to the moon," because anything they've ever told us now would be questioned and mocked, and basically we would tell them you're full of shit, right? Like because there's
Well, this goes into the theory of when you see the videos on the space station.
yes.
I mean, come on, some of them I want to believe they're there, but at the same time, dude, you see ropes and like you see like
Oh no, you see all kinds of crazy shit, man.
like
And
I get it. They're there. I'm gonna believe it. But
well,
there's
they
some
say that's
things-
why they say that's why they stopped doing the live shots from
Yeah.
the space
when they
station.
were because like dude, when they're doing like upside down and like backflips, like you could clearly see they're held on.
And there's
On
like
the
a glass of
left-
water sitting on the counter, on
Yeah.
a table, and I'm like, wait a minute.
So and
I'm no
unless-
astrophysicist, but that should be floating.
but unless they're being held down that way so they could do those things without hitting the walls or say they hit something wrong.
Maybe.
I only could see it that way, and that's why that's the way I'm going to look at it, so I don't have to question it. They are being they have to, if they're doing stuff like that, they're going to have
But
to.
why
be,
wouldn't they just say that? Why
Hmm.
wouldn't they just come out and say, "Listen, we have to tether this, tether that, whatever." Like
Yeah.
that. There's a conspiracy thing, the conspiracy theory part.
I'm just going to make
is
a
that-
quick funny video of like a green screen that I add behind it, and then there's people grabbing them to do that, like the
Yeah.
forks and stuff.
There's some guy.
Really throw it off.
There's
you know
Bob
what I mean?
Barker spinning the guy like on the Price is Right when you spin the big wheel. The
Yep.
guy he just spinning,
That's exactly- yeah, dude.
and it's Bob Barker doing it. Oh man, that'd be hilarious.
Hilarious. That'd be funny, dude.
We got to make that
But,
video.
like there are some I've seen those videos, and it's well, it was from like David Weiss showed us when we did an interview
that's
with
true.
him. I mean,
he had
yeah, he was out there.
he has special interest in that. So.
Yeah.
But that's another one, like flat Earth, right? Like that's another crazy conspiracy theory. You're like, what?
So they're holding on to something in history when they taught flat Earth in school because no one knew any better.
But it
So-
was at one point in history,
It was
people
in-
believed that the Earth was flat. Like it was a real thing.
It was
You
like
know
in
what I
the
mean?
30s,
Like,
right? 20s and 30s.
oh well, there was from what I read, there were some schools in like the 1910s and 20s that were still teaching flat Earth. But I think
Only
they were
So you
not
think-
like they weren't like mainstream schools. They were, podunk, backwoods Kentucky schools probably that were teaching.
but no one ever got the perspective outside of Earth's atmosphere at that time.
Right.
So
And
of
the
course,
video of the day was terrible. The pictures of the days were terrible.
yeah. And I don't know. I don't want to believe anything David Weiss said.
But
He's a liar.
but my point is that's a great example. Like the flat Earth, like
Yeah.
people still waiting on that McMahon.
Oh my god.
You know, my publisher clearinghouse money. You're goddamn right. I'm with you, Tony. I'm waiting.
Oh man. But
I like that McMahon.
it's not that I don't want to okay, he can have his own beliefs. I'm not going to mock him for it, but like I will off camera.
I'm gonna mind.
No, but like he
That's
has
your
his own
Patreon.
beliefs. Thank you. Yeah. But he has his own beliefs, and just like we do. But the thing is, I wouldn't mock his like he mocked mine live.
But
I'm
He
still
did
holding
that.
that. I'm
He did
holding
that
that
for-
grudge.
he did put some cool sunglasses on though when he did it, so it
Yeah.
almost made it worth it. At least to me, because I thought it was hilarious.
I was just like this motherfucker. Dude.
Cool story, bro. When he
He
put his
was mo-
sunglasses on,
he
I was
was-
dying.
he was more going for comedy when he was cornered than anything. So people would get a laugh, so he didn't have to go around. He went around the answer. He did it every single time.
Yeah.
You can't fight within someone.
But the fact that there's still people that believe that with today's technology and the things that they've proven, But then you go to like my point with like the cables and stuff and the space station videos and stuff.
That probably is like those.
Like if you're lying to me about that, maybe the Earth's flat, right? Like that's how crazy it gets,
Well, we can say I believe in the round Earth. You believe in flat Earth. We've been through this.
We have not been through
Tony,
this.
Joe, Ian literally believes in flat Earth.
That is not true.
We have gone through this multiple times, me and him. And
you made that decision on your own.
No,
based on the fact that I made fun of you for being made fun of by David Weiss. And if you saw the video where he made fun of Tyler by David Weiss, you'd be laughing too.
We got quite a few hits on YouTube. Not gonna lie.
It was one of our better videos because it was fucking hilarious.
No, you talked about for days about how you believe in like David Weiss and you said you wanted to go to the convention.
I do want to go to convention. I absolutely want to go to the convention. I want to go to every convention though.
Dressed as a globe.
Just dressed up like the Earth.
Yeah, one of those inflatable costumes. Just walking around like a big blueberry kind of. I would do it. Like that's how much that guy made me mad.
I'll dress up like the moon and I will just circle you all night. No matter where you go, I'll just that would be hilarious. We need to get like a midget to dress up like the moon and just follow you around.
For instance, the moon and the solar eclipse. You don't see like a potato chip going across the moon. You know what I mean?
But you can't argue.
You can't argue that.
With these people, you can't argue like reality. They don't really get it, right? Like they've made up their mind or whatever. But that's fine.
Or it's the following they got to make up their mind and they can't back down.
Well, right. I mean, some people don't have that.
He probably signs off and then just watches documentaries on planets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, some people have this thing where they pick a side and they're not smart enough. There's a name for it. I forget what the name of it is, but they're not smart enough to know that they're not smart enough to know. You know what I mean? Like they just don't. The Dunning-Kruger effect. Kruger effect.
Kruger.
Yeah. So it's that you don't know enough to know that you're wrong, right? It's like you just can't you can't just accept it. You can't just say, all right, well, I was wrong. I fucked up. Like I don't believe that.
And I see that every day.
Where's my sunglasses? Hold on.
No, not you. It rhymes with schmalin. You didn't catch that, Ian, but it's okay.
D3 Atlas comet coming close to us. No, I saw that. That comment that's coming real close to us.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say it rhymes with schmuck. But I'll leave it at that.
I think isn't that the comment that they think that depending on how close it comes to us this time will depend on if it hits us next time.
It has to go through a trajectory. Is that the one?
Yeah, it has to like thread a needle.
That's exactly what they call it.
But if it threads that needle, they say that it will hit us on the next time around. Mm-hmm. And they say it's not a world killer, but it's like a city killer. It'll cause some havoc.
Well, they'll know with mathematics on exactly where that's going to hit to.
Yeah. Well, they'll know by which way, how close it comes to us and where it's at. But they say it's a very small window that it has to hit to get back on the trajectory to hit us.
I think that's the one, but
I'm pretty sure that's the one.
That is, and if it does, we'll know exactly where it's going to hit when it's coming. Mm-hmm. Is the U.S. going to help people out?
Ooh. Yeah.
$750 a month we get. I'm just
I think it's a one-time payment of $750 a month, right?
No,
You
it
lose
was.
your
Yeah.
you lose your house and everything, and they give you
I live in
750
North
bucks.
Carolina and all them. They're living in tents and campers right now, dude.
Yeah, everybody in California, they're paying for their bill for the next 18 months or whatever the fuck. Oh my god, such a fucking disaster.
It really is, dude. And the thing
Such a
is, like,
disaster.
those fires starting, dude, an ember will just pick up and go.
Yeah,
and burn down another
there was a
fire.
kid on TikTok doing TikToks while there were fires starting behind him,
Yeah,
and
what
like you
time
could see
they were
that.
starting?
Yeah, and you could see him, and like you'd hear the fire trucks coming eventually, but like the embers would land somewhere, and then a fire would just start behind him.
It's
And the
because
kid's
of
like, "Oh shit!
the reason why this is happening is the wind is so strong.
Oh
There's
yeah, it's blowing
tornadoes
the
going-
embers everywhere."
Yeah, and that would really suck, dude. Well, and the thing is, I don't feel bad in a way. I feel bad for the people. They had time to prepare, and they've had this before where they could have set up systems that could have taken
Well,
care
it
of it.
happens every year, man. They
That's what I'm
don't.
saying. And the thing is, like, this is catastrophic, dude. Like the whole
Yeah, they could do control burns. They could do a lot of different things, man, to stop this shit from happening, or at
Well,
least ease some of the pain.
It
Like-
doesn't matter what it costs with how much California has. Why aren't they doing sprinkler systems everywhere?
I don't know, right?
Everywhere, dude.
Yeah,
It should be
something.
it should be in their city permits. They have to have sprinkler systems, 2 per house. You know what I mean? Just it doesn't matter how much it costs.
I
'cause
mean,
save them millions of dollars. Because now
I'm
the
sure
insurance-
they have sprinkler, like a lot of the houses
Yeah.
have sprinklers, but is that
Yeah.
enough? You know what I mean? Like, is that enough? I don't know if
that
that's
would be-
enough.
I think it would be enough.
If they were everywhere, maybe. Yeah,
That's
I
what
mean,
I'm
if they
saying.
were,
like, it would have to be everywhere.
because
Like,
if you have a raging fire, your sprinkler system's not putting it out. Like,
No,
if
no,
it's just raging, and these
But-
fires are fucking out of control.
but it's just like us, how all the insurance company pulls out of everyone that owns houses in Florida because of hurricanes.
Yeah.
Now California's doing that with fires. They're
Yeah.
not covering any of it. It's like,
Yep.
dude, I would rather deal with a hurricane than fire. You know what I mean?
And they were talking about this laser. They were talking about. Have you seen this direct laser thing that they're talking about, like the blue?
Oh shit, we're over.
Yeah, we're over. We're all right. I don't think we have
Okay.
anybody after us.
Okay.
We have there's this fun. They had that direct energy laser, and it started in Hawaii where they're like, oh, the blue roofs. There's nothing that all the blue tarps and shit like that. Like, this direct energy laser they showed. So they showed it like it didn't burn the color blue. It burned like red, yellow, whatever. But anything that was color blue, it wouldn't burn. All right, I understand that how that works. Like, I get it. For whatever reason, that laser doesn't affect blue.
See, I haven't heard of this.
But these fucking idiots are like, oh, look, everything that blue didn't burn. But everything around, like, they showed these 2 tarps that were blue and it didn't burn or whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, everything around it was on fire. Maybe the laser won't burn it, but the fucking massive fire around it is going to burn anything and everything in the path. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, look, there's a blue trash can. It didn't burn.
So are
But
they
like,
saying the laser started those fires?
well, they're saying that that's one of the conspiracy theories is that they're starting them with direct energy lasers.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't second guess it. Like, it could happen. Yeah, strong laser. I'm so sorry, but
Yeah, I mean,
we feel bad.
but not to burn the color blue. Come on, I mean, it's okay.
That's
The laser may
silly.
not damage it,
So,
but-
sorry, fire doesn't save anything. It's gonna
yeah,
take it all, dude.
like, listen, I mean, I don't understand. And they're all like showing videos of like using these little handheld direct energy laser things that you can buy. And they're like, look, it doesn't burn the color blue. And okay, and it doesn't. Like, they're right. But the massive fire that you started by burning the color yellow, that's gonna burn your color blue, bro. Like,
No,
you
people
know
are
what I'm
stupid, but they
saying?
don't. That's why it's just like you can't even listen to those kind of people. They're the ones that you said they're not smart enough to realize they're not smart enough.
Yeah, you're just not
Like-
an intelligent person when you say shit like that. Like, that's
Yeah.
one of those conspiracy theories. Is like, it's fun and it's cool, and it may even be true that they're using these lasers. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's not going to prevent blue things from burning because the
No.
fire around. You're not going to lose an entire town.
No.
Right? Yeah,
That's exactly it, Joe.
fire isn't racist.
Yeah, accepts all.
Yeah, it burns everything.
But,
Ah, have we done enough conspiracy theory for tonight? I think so.
We are, but we have to get back on this topic because there's so many to talk about that just make me angry. Well,
Well,
we
we'll
need to
see.
do a Patreon one because I don't want to get banned on this episode.
there's a few things we want to talk about,
Yeah, I want to get into the
especially
nitty gritty.
especially the C word, and I'm not talking about cancer.
Yeah, exactly.
That one apparently you can't talk about at all. Pisses me off.
What about 19?
I'm sure there's 11 of them that we can talk about. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out.
Yeah. We're gonna have
nine or 11. I don't know. There's got to be a number that we can pick.
That's very true.
All right, we're
I
done wasting. We're done wasting your time, folks. Thanks for hanging out. We will do this again next week, 7 o'clock. Be here. Maybe we'll be on time. I don't know. We'll see. We'll let Jesus decide that. And we are out of here.
All right, see you guys
Later,
Thanks,
Joe.
Joe.
Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Thanks, Joe, Tony, and